Welcome to the introduction to Git and GitHub. We're going to start by downloading and installing the software. First, we navigate to the website for Git, which is https://git-scm.com. Click on the blue-green monitor to download the latest version of Git for your computer. On the download page, click on the Click Here to Download link and click Save File to save the file to your local computer. If you go back to the home page for Git, you'll find a link for documentation. If you follow this link, you will find the book Pro Git. This is an excellent learning resource. I highly recommend it. Now back to your computer. Double-click the installer in your Downloads folder to install the software. If you like, you can accept the default values for all of the pages in the installer. Many people opt to change the name of the default branch that Git creates from the older master to the more modern term main. The installation process can take several minutes. For the purposes of this video, I've sped the process up considerably. On the final installation screen, check the box to launch Git Bash so that we can configure Git for your use. Then click Finish. In order to use Git effectively, we're going to need to tell it your name and your email address. To do this, we're going to type two commands into the command prompt that Git has brought up. Obviously, you will want to type your name and your email address, not mine. Now let's create our first project. To do this, we're going to start by launching a program called Git GUI. We're going to click the Create New Repository button. Then we'll click the Browse button and navigate to where we're going to put the folder for our project. In this case, I'm going to put it in my Documents folder in the folder called Demo Project. When I click the Create button, Git GUI switches over to its standard user interface. At this point, there are no files in the folder other than the database folder called .git. Now it's time to add our first file to the project folder. In this case, I'm just going to use Notepad to create a text file called readme.txt and save it in the project folder. If I bring up the Git GUI window and tell it to rescan the project file folder, it recognizes that the readme.txt file has been created and lists it as one of the unstaged changes to the project. Clicking on the name of the file shows the contents of the file that has changed since the last commit. In this case, it's the entire contents of the file. To save this version of the file into the Git repository, I'm first going to click on its icon. This will move the file from the unstaged changes to the staged changes of the Git GUI menu. Then I'm going to type a commit message into the box so that I can document what the nature of the change to the project was at this time. Clicking the commit button causes Git to remember the state of all the files that have been staged for commit at this time. I'm going to open a File Explorer window in the project directory and drag an OBJ file of a cube into the folder. Once again, I'm going to tell Git GUI to rescan the folder, and it notices that the file has been created in the working directory. Like before, I'm going to click on the icon for the file to add it to the staged changes for this commit. In this case, Git GUI gives me an error message indicating that the index has been locked. If this happens, go ahead and click the Unlock Index button and proceed with the commit as before. You can look at the commit history for a repository from Git GUI by clicking on the Repository menu item and selecting Visualize All Branch History from the menu that comes up. In this case, we can see that there have been two commits made to the repository.